How greed destroyed American politics. You've probably heard the phrase, money is speech, but in today's politics, that means billionaires get a megaphone, and you, if you're lucky, get to spout off on social media. This shift wasn't an accident. It was engineered through court rulings, dark money networks, and lobbying that rewired how laws get made. This video breaks down exactly how greed and money reshaped American democracy and what it would take to get it back. Let's start where it all changed. The Citizens United turning point. The ruling that turned political money from a stream into a flood, Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission in 2010. It redefined political spending as, quote, protected speech, letting corporations and billionaires spend unlimited sums on elections, as long as they were technically independent. But the assumptions behind that ruling, transparency and independence, collapsed instantly. What followed was a tidal wave of dark money and the birth of the super PAC era, dark money and the billionaire takeover. Just 100 families now outspend entire voter coalitions. Families like the Kochs, the Mercers, the Adelsons, the Bloombergs and the Waltons. Their money flows through super PACs and 501c4 non-profits that hide donor identities, creating an invisible army of influence. By 2024, billionaire spending made up more than half of all political contributions nationwide. One check can now decide a local race or tip a Senate seat. Pay-to-play governance. When donations become job applications, we've seen mega donors rewarded with ambassadorships and influence. During the Trump administration, donors like Gordon Sondland and Kelly Craft bought themselves diplomatic roles after writing seven-figure checks. Corporate executives help shape the very policies meant to regulate them. Follow the money. Money gets you access, access gets you power, power gets you policy. That's the new operating system of American politics, the revolving door. For many officials, leaving Congress is the most profitable career move they'll ever make. Former lawmakers and staffers become lobbyists, consultants, and, quote, advisors, cashing in on relationships built with public money. The product they sell isn't expertise, it's access. Look at former Representative Billy Townsend, who left Congress to become the head of PhRMA, the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America, or the drug industry's biggest lobbying group, earning millions lobbying the very committees he once chaired. Industry capture, Exhibit A, the opioid crisis. Pharma companies funneled millions into lobbying and front groups that helped write federal guidelines on pain management, guidelines that encourage overprescription. In one case, Purdue Pharma spent over $200 million lobbying and marketing OxyContin, while executives falsely downplayed its addictive risks. The result? A national epidemic. More than 500,000 dead from opioid overdoses. When profit writes policy, people die. Industry capture, Exhibit B, Wall Street deregulation. Before the 2008 crash, finance lobbyists spent years dismantling guardrails like Glass-Steagall. Afterwards, they flooded Washington again, spending $2 billion in lobbying between 2008 and 2018 to weaken reforms like Dodd-Frank. When the rules are rewritten by those who profit from risk, the rest of us pay the price. Industry capture, Exhibit C, fossil fuels versus climate policy. Every year, Americans ask why obvious climate math keeps losing to political math. Fossil fuel giants spend hundreds of millions lobbying against clean energy, methane fees, and electric vehicle incentives. They know the science, they just don't care. Their short-term profits means long-term destruction. Public opinion says yes to protecting the planet. Policy keeps saying no. The money explains why. Oligarchy evidence. A Princeton study found that average citizens have almost zero independent influence on US policy outcomes. But economic elites and organized interest groups, their preferences predict policy almost perfectly. This is proof we're not really living in a democracy. It's an oligarchy with a veneer of a democracy. The Koch political machine. Meet the third party that never runs candidates. The Koch network. Founded by Charles and the late David Koch, this machine funds think tanks, advocacy groups, and model bill factories like ALEC, which drafts legislation for state houses across the country. Their goal wasn't just to win elections, it was to own the rulebook, the playbook that determines how policy is written before voters ever see it. The inequality democracy death spiral. This is the feedback loop. The wealthy buy influence, influence shapes policy, policy increases wealth for the same wealthy few. The richer they get, the louder their voices, and the quieter yours gets. That is how inequality becomes self-reinforcing, and why passing small reforms is like bailing out the Titanic with a teaspoon. Regulatory capture explained. Regulatory capture is when the foxes guard the henhouse. It happens when industries fund research, replace allies in key agencies, or literally write their own rules. Take Ajit Pai, a former Verizon lawyer who became the FCC chairman and promptly repealed net neutrality. If you ever wondered why oversight keeps failing, start there. Corporate PACs and the accountability mirage. After January 6th, dozens of corporations pledged to stop donating to election deniers. 6 months later, the money quietly resumed. Through PACs, trade associations, and loopholes, ethics pledges are cheap, access is priceless. The erosion of public trust. When people believe nothing ever changes, they disengage. Trust in government has collapsed to historic lows. And when democracy feels broken, strongmen start to sound appealing. Donald Trump wasn't elected because people thought a reality TV star could fix America. He was elected because millions believed the system couldn't be fixed any other way. He was a protest vote, or perhaps more accurately, a wrecking ball. Path forward. Fixing this system means taking out the engine, not spray painting over the rust. It starts with overturning Citizens United, then closing dark money loopholes and publicly funding campaigns. We need strict anti-revolving door laws, transparency in rulemaking, and most of all, an economy that doesn't depend on billionaire benevolence. Local reforms matter, federal enforcement matters, and building coalitions that last beyond one election cycle matters most of all. In conclusion, greed didn't just corrupt our politics, it rewired it from the foundation up. But systems built by design can be redesigned if we have the courage to be bold. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit subscribe and turn on the notifications so you're here for the next one, because understanding how they broke the system is the first step to fixing it.